Next.
Good job, baby girl.
Testing audio, testing 1 2 1 2. I think we're working. I thought graduating college was going to be one of the greatest experiences of my life. I thought it would feel like a grand celebration, you know? Like I'm stepping into this world of freedom, opportunities, and new beginnings. But post-grad has been nothing but a raging, glorified, hyperactive son of a... And I'm going to talk about it. Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. It's good to see you, and I know you know it's good to see me. August was my first official school month not being in school anymore in my whole life. And let's just say it's been nothing but a very eye-opening and reflecting time that I genuinely never thought it would be. In this video, I want to share my reflections that I've had so far because I know I can't be the only one that's been feeling this way. So let's get into it. Okay, the first thing I want to talk about is this massive feeling of being so lost. When you're a student athlete like I was, your whole life has been mapped out from you, from practices, school schedules, competition schedules, study halls, assignments, projects, deadlines. Every part of my day was always structured for me. So I really didn't realize how much of my own identity had gotten tangled and folded into that until it was gone. When I first graduated, my days felt wide open. And I know that probably sounds like super amazing to some people. For me personally, truthfully, it was like terribly overwhelming. There was no syllabus, there was no practice schedule, there was nothing telling me what I needed to do with every piece of my day. I genuinely just had no clue what I should be doing. Like I was caught in this constant circle of, am I not doing enough? What is everybody else doing? Should I be doing this? Should I be doing that? Should I be working? Should I be looking for jobs? Blah, 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 blah. It was also hard because I didn't have anyone to hold me accountable really, like other than my parents. There was no coaches, there were no professors. It was all on me. And most days I literally didn't even know where to start, so I didn't. I literally laid in bed for 2 weeks straight, not looking for any opportunities. To sum it up in smaller words, it felt like I was dropped in the middle of a map with no compass, no direction, and I was just surrounded by endless space. Now, that sounds really, really sad. In fact, it is really, really sad, actually. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Even though a part of me knew that like this was my chance, I can build my own life for the first time ever. I can do whatever I've been wanting to do. I can plan for all these big things I've always dreamed about. Another part of me felt paralyzed because everything just became so uncertain and real. It feels like a lot, and it's heavy and it's hard, okay? And I think that's been one of the hardest parts to find my way through is that feeling of being lost because I'm still there. I don't know what I need to be doing. I don't know if I'm doing anything that I'm supposed to be doing. I don't know if I'm doing anything right, but I'm trying. And I feel like that is the only thing I could possibly allow myself to focus on right now. Next, I want to talk about post-grad depression. I had never really heard of this term before until I kind of looked up different people's experiences throughout post-grad and realized that that is like a common thing that a lot of people do experience. And trust me, babe, I am in the thick of it, okay? It's strange, honestly, being in this weird in-between transitional part of my life. You know that feeling when you look in the mirror and all of a sudden you don't recognize who you've been looking at for the past however long you've been alive. That's like my constant reality at the moment. I literally do not know who I am at all. And it's exhausting, honestly. Like it's exhausting. Like I feel tired all the time, not just physically, but mostly emotionally. And it takes so much energy for me to keep pushing forward when my mind keeps telling me that I'm stuck where I'm at. Some days it kind of feels like I just exist. I'm just floating through the day, very much going through the motions, not mentally attached or passionate about anything in my day-to-day life. I think the hardest part is the negative voice in my head. The one that keeps telling me you're not happy, you're overwhelmed, you're exhausted, and this is your life now. I know deep down that happiness is a choice, but in this transitional season that I'm in right now and that you might be in too, making that choice every day is really hard sometimes. And I'm still working on that, but I'm trying. Once again, I can't do anything without starting to try. I need a drink break. Ooh. On graduation day, there was this overwhelming thought in my head that when I walked across that stage and when I sat back down, it didn't really feel like this grand celebration that I thought it was going to be. It felt more like a funeral. Instead of celebrating my new life, basically, it felt more like the one that I had that I loved so much was dead. It was a celebration of what was, not what could be. It was a very emotional day. I felt like I didn't even have time to process everything because I literally left and came home the next day. So it was like saying goodbye to everything within 24 hours and leaving it forever. I miss my friends. I miss my teammates. I miss the community that I had built over the last 4 years of my life. I miss knowing what was expected of me. It feels like I had to say goodbye to a version of myself that I knew like the back of my hand. I felt like I knew myself so well when I was in college. I knew a version of me that had a clear role, that had clear goals every day, every month, every semester. And it was like, who the am I without all of these things? When I first went to college, it literally felt like the freshest page I had ever been given in my life. Sometimes grief doesn't always look like breaking down and crying. Sometimes it's just like this quiet little ache, constantly there, and it feels like you can't get rid of it. And this is where I feel super dramatic because at the end of the day, I didn't lose anything. Things have changed, things are different, but I haven't lost my friends. I haven't lost the community I built. And that was kind of just a change that I mentally, as a person that gets very attached to people and places and doesn't like change, was really hard for me. So yeah, sometimes it feels like, I have an emptiness in my chest that's kind of longing for that sense of community and that sense of being again. I feel like instead of appreciating college and that experience for what it was, I'm stuck in this feeling of comparing it to how different my life is now. And obviously, you don't have to like where you're at all the time. I didn't love every single day in college, but now that I'm not in college, the only thing I can think about is just how great those times were and how I feel now. And it gets to a point where I'm like, bitch, are you even trying to be happy? If I keep sitting and ruminating on all of the great times in college, I feel like I'm not even appreciating it and validating it as a great memory because I'm just constantly comparing it. But at the end of the day, it was real. That feeling of losing that, it was real, and that it is hard to let go of something and know that you're not going to get it back in the way that you had it. Moving forward, I want to choose to not move on, but I want to move forward. Even though I'm feeling so lost, so drained, and I'm grieving the life I used to have, I really want September, since September is the start of fall. Fall is like the transitional season of the seasons. The leaves are changing, the weather's changing, the air is changing, and guess what? I'm changing too. Whoa! I've compiled a list of goals for myself for September so I can really use the next 4 months. Here are my goals. They are very simple. I warn you now. I want to be more intentional and I want to just take small steps for bigger gains, if that makes sense. So I want to build a solid morning and night routine so I can start my days with a purpose and end my days in peace. I want to drink more water and I want to start moving my body, just starting really simple with like yoga or YouTube videos of Pilates and things like that. But I want to take care of myself just as much mentally as I can physically. I want to practice gratitude every single day. And I also want to upload weekly on YouTube because I'm not even gonna lie, even though I have a very, very, very small following, not even enough to make any type of money for a long time, I genuinely feel like creating things and sitting in front of a camera and having to open my mind up and try and be creative. It feels like it gives me purpose. Even if like a lot of people don't take it seriously that I'm doing this, I do. Moral of the story is, I may not be the person that I want to be yet, but I'm working on it, and that is enough for now. Okay, that is the end of this video. If you like this video, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to see more of me, your future favorite YouTuber, Mimi V. Thanks so much for watching. See you next week. Gosh, I hope that was good.